This conference is going to give you a chance to know the tools you need to make sure you take advantage of those changes so you can thrive, not just survive, but you'll thrive into the future. What we have to do is we have to know the things we can control. We control our costs and our productivity. That's what we should be focusing on right now. So we may have some tough decisions to make, but we'll come out of this and we'll be thriving when we do.
Okay, one thing we did this year with our staff was Christmas bonuses weren't as big as I wanted them to be or as staff maybe expected them to be. So for the next 6 months, we gave everybody Friday afternoons off with pay. I want them in a safe place to work and I want them productive and I don't want them staring at computer screens when they don't need to be. So they now have Friday afternoons off and I think I'll have a more productive staff because of it.
Well, you know, Peter, restaurants are incredibly flexible and they can change their business model within hours, and they're doing that in British Columbia to reflect value. There's a number of things that are really important right now to the consumer. There is value, there is being genuine and authentic, and there's also a move back to hearty foods. So we're seeing restaurants throughout Vancouver and British Columbia moving towards stews, advertising specials. I was in Victoria on Wednesday night, and one of the restaurants there is advertising 25% off the price of wine on Wednesday nights and 50% off the price of appetizers between 3 and 5. So this is all about value and engaging the consumer. And the other thing to remember, Peter, is that restaurants are not about food. Restaurants are about relationships. And one of the things that businesses need to do at this time of economic change is develop and strengthen the relationships they have with their existing customers. And that has to be creative and innovative like restaurants are. You have to reach out and touch your consumer personally.
I believe the opportunities are marvelous. The ability to rent decent space in prime locations has improved significantly with this downturn. There are many companies that haven't done very much as the markets have risen so high that rents have become outside of their business model. That will change now. There will be opportunities for good companies, good quality companies will be able to find good quality space in well-located shopping centers. So I feel that is a real positive going forward.
Well, I think for our staff, what we're really trying to do is probably communicate to them more than ever on what's happening within our business, within our industry, within our company. And I think people are looking for that clarity in today's environment. So we're trying to do that as much as we possibly can and better than we've ever done it. For our customers and for our readers, we're trying to offer more products and services than ever before. Whether it's coming from the ad department group or the 2 newsrooms, it's really incumbent upon us to put as many wonderful new products and services into the marketplace that we possibly can. For instance, we are a partner with VANOC in the 2010 Games as a media sponsor, and the Olympics is certainly going to be a big initiative for us and already has come to fruition that way within our client base, and there are specific products and services that we will be offering, whether you're a sponsor or a non-sponsor, on taking advantage of that opportunity in our marketplace.
I'm taking a look at a couple of things, but one of the things I'm taking a hard look at is customer service. It's a great time to get my entire team looking at just every caller who calls into our business. We have to take advantage of. They're calling because they want to travel, and we want to make sure we're the company booking it for them. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm taking a look at some of the new opportunities that I had been thinking about for years, and now I have a little bit of extra time. I'm putting it into looking at the new business, developing those ideas, and moving them forward while the economy is slower, having it ready in time for when it's back to business. One of them is to remember that every call, treat the people as if you're talking to your own parents or grandparents. And another customer service issue is be empathetic on the phone. Listen to what your customer wants.
So what I wanted to do is just wanted to tell you a quick story about us and the challenges that we've faced over this last little while. We're a trade show manufacturing company, and as a trade show manufacturing company, we are the ones that sort of see the impact ahead of time because we're a market leading indicator. So 6 months prior to the economic sort of big downturn that everybody felt, we started to notice it. At that point, what we were doing is we were going through a branding change and we were on an acquisition hunt. 2007 was a great year for us. So we were in the midst of adding to our management group and allowing us to be able to do the acquisitions that we wanted to do in order to grow. Around February of last year, we started to see some changes happening and the market starting to slow down. At that point, one of the things that we did is we said, okay, we've got to be smart and we've got to be able to tighten the ship a little bit. And instead of affecting our production employee base, we've had them for quite a long time, 10 to 20 years. Some of them have been with the company. We went after the management group and we tightened up the management group a little bit. Now what that did is that stopped our growth strategy. So we had a letter of intent out there and we were raising financing in order to be able to do the acquisition. We had to hold that off because financing became very difficult to get. Subsequent to that, what we were doing is we were also doing a significant branding change, and we were right in the process of doing our branding change. Now that's one of those initiatives that we looked at it for the future range of the company and said that's something that we can't stop. So even though it's going to be a substantial cost to us as a company, we're going to continue with that branding change. And that's the time, you have to sort of take a look at where your best use of value is. And you can't stop everything. You can't stop the business of doing business. You have to be able to be very smart and look at where the opportunities are in order to spend your hard-earned money. One of the things that we're doing is dialogue. We're having conversations with them on a much more regular basis. There's emails that go out. I'll go visit our offices. We have 9 offices across the country. And whereas in 2007 and 2008, I might have visited once or twice a year, towards the tail end of 2008, I started it. In 2009, I'm going to be visiting them at least 3 or 4 times. Our production staff, we have regular meetings. And the other thing that I started to do is I started to get much more involved on the operations side of the business. Because people are nervous right now and they're scared about their jobs. They keep reading the papers and they're worried about what's going to happen to them. 100 people, we're a small business and we would be affected more because we're on the marketing side than a lot of other companies. So you have to be able to have good dialogues with your staff in order to encourage them and say everything's going to be okay. We understand that these are tough economic times, but we're also being very prudent about the operations of the company. There's 2 things that we're doing right now. One is we're continuing with our branding change, and what that's going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to move into custom exhibits. We're called the portables, and people can't understand the portables with large custom trade show exhibits. So now that we're offering a lot more of that, we're actually starting to move into counter business for our cosmetic clients. And we're talking to one of the ladies out of Miami, and she has a budget of about $2 million for wood counters in the duty-free stores. And we're putting a bid in right now to be able to get some of that business. And if we get some of that business, it's going to be a substantial amount of work for us and our production people.
Forest fires. Most would say they are harmful and destructive, but they are also full of opportunity. They stimulate a new generation of growth. In fact, they are integral to the world ecosystem. In Canada, we are in the middle of an economic forest fire, but we will survive. We will survive the devastation.
Now, here we stand, ready to stimulate growth.
We are living in a changed world, but those changes open up all kinds of opportunities for all of us.
The Canadian dollar is down, and that means more tourism for Canada.
That means more visitors to our province.
That means more participation in our economy from the United States.
Currently, there are unprecedented buying opportunities in real estate, and that means our young people can afford to buy homes again.
In Canada, we're in a better position than most to recover from this economic downturn.
The winds of change are gusting. The most successful business owners don't wait for public demand to increase. They create demand during the most difficult times.
Microsoft did it.
Kellogg's did it.
Disney did it.
It's time to push forward. Face the economy head on. Seize this opportunity for your business and be bold.
Be bold.
Be bold.
Be bold.
Be bold.
What are you going to do to be bold?